Hi, I'm Carol Dodsley, better known as the G Plus How To Girl, and welcome to today's show. Today's show, we're actually talking to some great ladies all the way from the other side of the world to me in America who are using Hangouts in a very creative way, and they're doing it to add more value to their customers. And we wanted to share with you exactly what they're doing and let you think about how can you use Hangouts creatively. So let's go over and say hello to Laurie and Katrina. Hi girls.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
And you're looking very fit and healthy, which is absolutely great. And I can see there in the background, you know, you're actually in the studio. And we've got a clip that's going to come up in a little while that will show everybody where we actually filmed a live Pilates class. And what you're doing with it is so creative because you actually have people that are attending your Pilates classes from home, don't you? Just tell me a little bit about that.
Well, it all started, we had a client who was coming to classes regularly here, and then she moved across the country out to California, and she was unhappy with the Pilates studios that she was finding out there, so she contacted us and said, hey, can I come into one of your classes using FaceTime or Skype or Google Hangouts or one of those services? And we said, well, why not? So we took our computer off our normal desk and brought it over here into the more studio space and hooked on with her, and she's been taking our classes now for about almost half a year. And now we've opened that service up to everybody else. So we have a number of our current clients who, you know, if they can't make it to class one day, they'll just hang out with us and take it from home.
Cool. That is, I mean, that is a really great way to let people still benefit from what you do without having to be in your location, you know, and this is something that a lot of local businesses don't actually think about. You know, I think it's great that you've introduced that because you're basically opening your potential for you and your clients to a global audience, because I could join your classes from here and I'm the other side of the world, which
you do. We'd love to have you. We had a client in class today who goes to Turkey every summer, and she's going to be taking our classes from Turkey as soon as she goes on the trip.
Absolutely fantastic. I really think this technology is opening things up, and as we can see, it's very clear. You know, people aren't looking at pixelated images, and when we go over to the actual video clip, in fact, I'm going to cut across and go over to the video clip now, and we'll show people a quick video clip of when I filmed your class and how you were interacting with the lady at home, how the people were there in the class, and how that all works. So I'll come back to you two ladies in just a minute.
Okay. All right, how's that arm feeling, guys? Pretty good? Nice job, Sarah. Okay, put your weight down. Don't roll on it. Roll it to your back. Take that top leg into the number 4 stretch. So your top ankle over your bottom knee. Pull your bottom knee towards you. Let that low back stretch out into the floor. Good, and that hip should feel pretty good there as well. Number 4 stretch is coming up on the exercise of the day vlog.
Oh, yay. All the different kinds?
Couple. Not all of them, but
Okay.
3 of them, I think. Watch that hip, Jackie. Keep it a little more stable right there. Feel that more, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
That was so easier than therapy.
I have a plan. Weight stacking at your sternum. Exhale, roll down. Stay about halfway. Then you're going to open your arms out like so. So your elbows are down by your side. We're going to do bicep curls. Keep those heels heavy on the floor. Keep those belly muscles pulling in. Shoulders relaxed. Upper arms are still. Lower arms are the parts that's moving. Good job, everyone. Exhale. Pull those belly muscles in first, and then lift your head, hands, and legs. Give that low back lots of support with those abs.
Okay, ladies, so we've just shown that clip of just how it works for people to be joining you in your classes from home. And that was a really great clip. You know, Sarah is just so clear what you're seeing, Laurie, when you were actually teaching that class. You could really see if she had got her positions wrong, or if she wasn't keeping up, or if she'd been struggling. So it's not like somebody's sort of blindly following along if they were on TV, for instance, when you're watching a TV show and you're trying to keep up with the exercise. She could ask you questions if she'd wanted to, and you could actually say to, you know, quite often you said there in that clip and we're in throughout the class, well done, you know, you're doing well. So you were giving her that encouragement as well. It's that real two-way working together that almost makes it like they are there with you in the class, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And one of the reasons why Sarah was missing our studio so much is that the people who come here have created such a community, and she missed that aspect. She missed coming into class and seeing these people that she's made friends with over the years. And one of our favorite stories about Sarah was a few weeks after she moved to California. I pulled her up for class, and she was here waiting for class to begin, and then her mom walked in. And she hadn't seen her mom since she had moved, so the two of them were just all over the computer screen with each other. And that day, I actually set the computer up so Sarah could see her mom, and her mom could see Sarah, so they were pretty much taking class together side by side.
That's my favorite story. It's really sweet.
It was really, really neat.
So
really neat.
Sarah's mom was in your physical
Yeah,
class,
she
and
was
Sarah
here.
was at home.
And they hadn't seen each other since she had moved across the country, so it was really special.
That is, you know, I mean, that sort of made me feel a little bit like, oh, that's so sweet.
I cried a little bit. I did.
Yeah. So even the clients here, you know, we didn't do it today because we wanted to get set up for this, but usually the clients will come over here and say, hey, Sarah, how are you doing out there? How's the weather? So we're really able to maintain that community feel that we strive to have at the studio, even though somebody's in California and we're in Massachusetts.
And of course, that Sarah and the other people that you've opened this up to now, you know, they're still paying, aren't they? Because they're still getting that quality experience. So this isn't talking to people and saying, oh, if you've got a business, let people hop onto a Hangout for free. This is about continuing that service and that provision that you were giving people before they couldn't come into the studio.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. Now, what if somebody, because obviously, you know, you can also use Hangouts in your business to actually, if somebody phones you or calls you up and they say, look, we want to know what's your studio like, we're not quite sure, maybe they can't get in to see the studio at that particular time and they're going to come to a lesson, but first they want to have a chat with you and they want to see the equipment that you've got. They want to know a bit more about how your studio's laid out. How would you do that with people using Hangouts?
We would absolutely give them a tour, just like what we're doing with you now. We would sort of turn the computer screen around. We can show you some stuff now if you're interested.
That would be great. Yes, let's do it.
All right. So let's see. Right now I'm going to show you what's called the track table. It sounds as scary as it looks, but it actually feels really great.
Wow.
Katrina's going to tell you a little bit about it and what she would be doing with a client.
That looks like it's from a torture chamber to me.
I'm not the first person that said that. But what you see in the background is this is one of our teachers, Jenny, and she's working out a little bit on the track table, and she's doing an exercise called the push through, and it's about lengthening the spine, evening out the body, and different things like that. So she's doing that. And what's great about the Pilates equipment that's different than other gyms is you can do an entire workout on this piece of equipment. You could spend 2 hours, you could spend 1 hour on just one piece of equipment. You don't have to jump around from piece to piece.
Cool. So is that what all the other bits that are hanging down, they're all for doing different exercises?
Yep. Now Jenny's going to turn around. She's going to do another exercise that looks a little bit like your traditional sit-up, but it's more about articulation of the spine. She's going to roll back, curl through her spine. Lori's giving her hand some cueing, and this is what would happen in a private session. The teacher would be right there with you, guiding you through the equipment and the work.
And those fluffy bits that I can see, there's like lots of things hanging.
Stand up and we'll do there's some leg stretches that you can do. You can stand on the machine. You can just stretch your legs. You can Keep her hips even. Yep, that's. So she's getting a hamstring stretch right now, and she's standing on one leg, so there's a little balance practice, but the fluffy loops is where her foot is hooked. Oh, and then here's her inner thigh stretch. And she can also turn around and do a quad stretch if you face me. Yep. And she can get a nice quad stretch and just move that way. You can also, this takes a little bit more to hook into, but you can hook both of your feet in the loops and hang upside down if you wanted to.
Cool. But isn't that a great way to actually introduce people to your equipment without them having to actually be there with you, you know?
It works really well because people often have heard of Pilates and they don't really know what it is, and it's a more complicated thing to explain because it's not just about core strength, it's about movement efficiency and using equipment to help you move more efficiently. So it's a great tool to show people just exactly what they're going to get on their first session.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what is so great about having this technology, that it's just opening up, because people could be watching this, you know, when you're talking to them, or they don't have to have a computer. They could be doing it on their laptop. They could be doing it using an iPhone. Now, obviously, if they're taking part in a class, it's going to be better if they've got a computer or a web camera that allows you to, you know, they do have to think about that. And I noticed when I was filming your class earlier that, you know, they could really see everything in your class that was happening. So you can even position your computer. If you wanted to do a private lesson, I'm guessing that you could position your computer and do a private Pilates lesson through a Hangout, and you can really be on the screen demonstrating how they should be sitting and everything else as well.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the more that we want to go eventually, if people become really interested in this, is being able to schedule that kind of session too.
Because before, you know, personal workouts and personal training was only available face-to-face. You know, you had to meet up with your trainer, or your trainer comes to your house. But now you can open that up anywhere around the world. You could actually be my personal trainer.
I could.
I don't train very well, so I probably wouldn't be your best client, but you never know.
Your exercise lying down, so it's a great way to enter into it.
You never know, you might convert me yet. So if you can you turn your computer, because obviously I know you also have a laptop. Today we're on a standard machine that you're using, but if you had your laptop switched on instead of this one, you could actually walk me around everything. You could take me and show me where the ladies' facilities are and the washroom and things like that. You could show me every single part of your studio on a Hangout, couldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful. I can see some ladies in the background there doing some sort of exercises as well. What are they doing? Because
they're doing independent workouts. So we had this scheduled, so none of us can really teach, but some people wanted to work out anyway, so they came in, they know their workouts, and they're working hard.
They are working hard.
Jenny just got on, you can see it right there, you can't see my finger, but Jenny just got on the reformer, and she's about to do an exercise called footwork.
She's got a pole right in her way, but you can see what her body's doing.
Yeah. And she's just pressing back, and she's actually doing the bridge, which is a little bit harder.
And the lady on the funny wooden thing there, I don't know the name of any of this equipment. I'm a complete novice.
That's the funny name, because Pilates was German. That's the Wunder chair, and she's doing a stretch lateral flexion, being able to keep flexibility in your spine.
Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I'm going to head over to something that's called the barrel. You can see it a little bit back behind Janice. I'm going to move it a little bit. Or Janice is going to move.
Yeah. That's one thing that we really like about this space is the equipment. You can move it around and organize the space however you want.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so Lori's the one standing and pointing at her.
Yep.
You see that?
We can.
Yeah. And this is a great way that, like, Lori's now doing another lateral flexion exercise, but it's much harder, so the work can really progress. So you can start really easy and really progress the workout as someone gets stronger.
Cool. That's absolutely brilliant, ladies. You know, and it's really great to see all of that and how you can show people, how you can teach people who are remote from you that can join in with your class. They can talk to you. Like you said before, at the end of the lesson with Sarah, they normally have a chat on the Hangout. So it's still that community, that social sort of interaction. And you can take people around and show them what equipment you have, how to use the equipment. So even though, you know, potentially people are not going to have those bits of equipment at home, but they want to know, what have you got? And I know that a lot of people will say, well, just come into the studio. You know, if I phoned somebody here, they would say, well, come down to the gym and have a look. But maybe I don't want to spend my time going around 10 gyms to decide which one I like the look of. This would be a fantastic customer service and marketing and promotion for you to show me and me to talk to you without having to do all that travelling around and traipsing from one place to another. So I think it's absolutely brilliant the way that you're really embracing Hangouts for all areas, really.
It's really working well, and I love that it came about so organically, that we had a need and we needed to fill it. So,
and that is something that a lot of people don't do. They have a need, but they don't think out of the box. And I just really applaud you that you've thought out of the box and that you had a need. And instead of saying, well, really sorry, Sarah, but if you can't get here, there's not a lot we can do, you immediately filled that need. And that has that added value for Sarah, but it's also added value for your business, hasn't it? And it's potentially allowing you to build and grow much faster or bigger than you would have done if you hadn't embraced Hangouts.
Absolutely. That's true.
So
yeah, and now Sarah's going to be traveling from California back to Massachusetts this summer, so we'll actually get her in person for a number of classes, which will be exciting to see her in person again.
That will be great. And she'll be able to describe her experience. You know, you could even have her on a Hangout when she's been back to ask her to describe, you know, how has this really helped you that you've been able to still work with us when we are not there with you and you are a long way away from us.
That would be great. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I have lots of good ideas for Hangouts. That could be why I host Hangouts. I train people on Hangouts, and I do these interviews like you've asked me to do today. We're doing these interviews and case studies to actually promote you and your business and how Hangouts can make such a massive difference.
Yes, that's true. We're very grateful.
It's an absolute pleasure. So ladies, hopefully everybody that is watching has really got a good handle on your business, what you do. Anybody that would like to join your classes, we will add, there will be a link under wherever you are watching this video from, so that you'll be able to get in touch with Laurie or Katerina and say, hey, I want to join your virtual remote Hangouts and be part of your Pilates class too. Or you can get in touch with them and say, hey, show me a bit more around your studio and what you do. I want to learn some of these exercises and I want to know exactly where you are. So feel free to get in touch with these two lovely, healthy ladies and get yourself healthy too. So thank you girls so much, and I know that we will be speaking very soon.
Bye, Carol. Bye, Carol.